Where does this lead, Jairam Ramesh? You've been in Parliament for almost 2 decades. Are you worried? Are you, how many years?
19 years.
19 years.
The first time I'm suspended.
That's why I said, first time you've been suspended.
Yeah. And I'm one person who always tries to find a middle path, find a way forward.
And you're saying this, which brings me to my question. Are you telling me that there is no middle path left?
Impossible.
For getting government and opposition to work
impossible.
together?
With these guys, it's absolutely impossible. First of all, none of them are empowered to take any decisions. When I tell the leader of the house, let's do it, he says, I have to check. When I tell Mr. Prahlad Joshi something, he'll say, I have to check. I mean, nobody is
check
empowered.
With whom? No, check with whom? Because when I asked, when I asked Prahlad Joshi, who is the opposition getting instructions from to disrupt Parliament, he said from Rahul Gandhi.
They have to check with Home Minister. They have to check with Prime Minister. G2. They have to, forget G20 now, it's G2. They have to check with G2. You think Mr. Piyush Goyal and Mr. Prahlad Joshi or Mr. Rajnath Singh are empowered to do anything? They get the orders from somewhere else. But Mr. Kharge is leader of the opposition. He decides to issue a notice, wants a discussion under a particular rule. He's not even allowed to raise that rule. He's not even allowed to get up. Moment he gets up, the treasury benches shout him, put him down.
The fact of the matter is there will be those who will turn around and say that it wasn't as if when the Congress was in power, their argument is that the opposition was always given the space that they did. They quote to me 1989 when more than 60 MPs were suspended.
146 now.
60 odd MPs were 69 was suspended in 1989, Rajiv Gandhi's government. Is there a sense that majority governments are the problem? When you have a majority government, you can pass all your bills and the opposition doesn't matter.
It's the mindset of the majority government. It's the mindset.
Was that true also of the mindset of majority governments of the Congress in decades behind, going back to emergency in the years, that when you have a majority government, it believes my way or the highway?
No. This is Mr. Modi. This is Mr. Modi's philosophy, my way or the highway.
This was not the Congress's philosophy.
It's not my way or the highway. I can tell you, in my years of 19 years in Parliament, and I've been out of these 19 years, 10 years I was part of the treasury benches, we found ways of moving forward. We found ways, contentious issues, but we have found ways of going forward.
You remember on issues like Telangana and other issues, MPs were suspended. The lights were switched off by Meera Kumar when she was speaker because there was supposedly, this contentious legislation of which you were an important part on the formation of statehood of Telangana had raised hackles in the house. So it's not as if this has, the fear is over the last 20-25 years, there's been a gradual decline. Fewer sittings of Parliament, more and more adjournments, fewer bills being sent to select committees for scrutiny. I'm not saying it hasn't worsened, but there's a gradual decline over the last 20 years. Would you agree?
The problem with people like you, liberals like you, in order to find equivalence and establish your objectivity, you tend to underestimate and minimize the nefariousness of what is happening. What is happening today is part of an agenda.
So what's the agenda? You tell me that.
The agenda was to do away with Parliament completely.
No, so since you're saying there's no equivalence, tell me what's the difference in the last 10 years and in the period before.
The entire objective is to make Parliament completely redundant. I mean, this is a Chief Minister who, in a budget session in his state, has suspended the entire opposition, including the leader of the opposition, Mr. Shakti Singh Gohel, who is today a member of the Rajya Sabha.
So you're saying the Gujarat model has come to Delhi?
It's the Modi model. It's the Modi model. I wouldn't say it's the Gujarat model, because Gujarat model means Solanki. There was Madhav Singh Solanki also was there. Amar Singh Chaudhary was there. Chimanbhai Patel was there. Keshubhai Patel was there. There was no Gujarat model then. This is the Modi model of governance.
May I ask you?
It's Tanashahi. Nothing.
You're saying it's Tanashahi. Therefore, are you saying
actually it's Amit Shahi, not Tanashahi?
No. Are you saying that the notion of a multi-party democracy loosely based on the Westminster model is under threat, or is that the opposition being alarmist? Ki tanashahi ho rahi hai, you're heading towards single party rule in this country, democracy is controlled by one individual.
I can't get an appointment to see the Election Commission of India to register our views on the EVMs. The India parties pass a resolution on EVMs. They make some suggestion. I can't get an appointment to go and see the Election Commission of India because they have to get clearance. I mean, what sort of a system are we running when constitutional authorities look at the CAG? The least number of reports presented in Parliament by the CAG in the last decade is in 2023. Hardly 18 reports. There was a time when the CAG would produce 40 reports a year. 30 to 35 reports a year. I mean, systematically, every institution, every constitutional body is being emasculated.
It's interesting you mentioned EVMs because government's officials tell me, please ask the opposition when they win an election in Telangana
this is
or
not
win
an
an
argument.
election in
This is not
Karnataka,
an
nothing
argument.
is wrong
This is
with
not
the
an
EVM.
argument.
But when you lose an election in Madhya Pradesh, EVMs are the problem.
No. This is not an argument. This has been discussed endlessly. Why is the Election Commission reluctant even to give an appointment? Just listen. Accept the memorandum and do what you want. Even that they're not willing to do. I mean, this is extraordinary here.
So you're saying the difference you believe between the past and the present is this institutional collapse or the takeover of
It's
institutions?
not collapse. It's a complete takeover. It's a complete takeover.
Only period reminiscent before you again accuse me of equivalence would be the Indira Gandhi period, particularly between 75 and 78.
No,
Am I correct?
I'm not defending the emergency. I mean, we can understand the emergency. The issue is not the emergency. The issue is the undeclared emergency. And who used the word undeclared emergency? Mr. Arun Shuri, who once upon a time was a minister in Mr. Vajpayee's government. Mr. Arun Shuri is the one who has described the last 8 years, 8.5, 9 years as an undeclared emergency.
What's the solution, Jairam Ramesh? Because you all go on protest.
It is an emergency in which
what's the
you have elections, but you have an emergency type situation where nobody is allowed to function. Constitutional bodies are not allowed to function.
What is the solution, Jairam Ramesh? Because it appears the opposition.
There's only one solution.
No, the opposition seems
There's
to
only
believe
one
that go to
solution.
Jantar Mantar, stage a token protest, and that their voices will be heard.